And blessed to be a part of your day. Kevin Miller in the morning at KIDO Talk Radio. Joined now by our friend Dan Gaynor of the Media Research Center. Dan, good to have you with us.
It's good to be with you, and happy Thanksgiving to you and certainly all my family out there.
Indeed. So where do we begin? Perhaps LeVar Ball and President Trump. Talk about the odd couple.
This is one where, it's, remember Rock'em Sock'em Robots? It's kind of like that. You put them to and you just want to go pounding each other. LeVar Ball, he wants attention. I don't quite understand his deal. He's like every crazy pageant mom, except he's imported into the NBA. I don't get his deal. And so of course, hey, you complain about the president if the president rescues your son from a totalitarian dictatorship. Yeah, I'm pretty sure most people would respond to that.
Yeah, it is crazy when you think about this.
Yeah, I mean, and then of course Trump's out there tweeting about it today. What Trump does understand about the media is they are constantly, just distracted by whatever he does. And most presidents have not used that, and we're certainly in a multimedia universe now where literally all Trump has to do is tweet about a different topic, and you see reporters scrambling on the day before Thanksgiving. Like, oh no, he just tweeted about, and fill in the blank, Australia. Wait, what is he tweeting about Australia? It's entertaining. For all that this has been the most draining media year of my career. And I think for everybody, that's not me singing the sad song. That's everybody who covers media, everybody who covers politics. This has been the most physically and emotionally draining year of our careers because the left and the media are seeking to overturn an election result that shocked them. They did everything he could to prevent it, and then they're seeking to overturn it now.
Indeed. Dan Gaynor joining us here from the Media Research Center. What about this impeachment move?
This is Tom Steyer. For those not following at home, Tom Steyer is a billionaire liberal who funds all sorts of think tanks, and he's an interesting guy who made a lot of money on coal and now wants all of us to change our lifestyle because of climate change. Yes, that sounds hypocritical only because it is. Well, now he tried funding politicians. His track record, shall we say, is not good. So now his thing is to try to directly bully American public into into impeachment. So he's throwing $20 million at trying to push impeachment. You'll see commercials on TV, and that's the guy who's funding them. And what he wants to do is make the 2018 a referendum on impeachment, which terrifies the Democrats more than the Republicans. Because the Republicans realize that a lot of people might be disaffected with the fact that they haven't done much, which is just they haven't done much. They figure those people will vote for them if it's about impeachment.
It does seem odd when we're looking at this this impeachment thing, and couldn't it really backfire? Couldn't this just embolden the Trump folks?
Well, I mean, certainly America doesn't want to go through impeachment. That's one I can say for my liberal friends, my conservative friends, my moderate friends. They don't want to go through years of what will unlikely be a result that they want. So the liberals want Trump out, but they actually don't want, they want him to resign or they want to bully him out. This is just not going to be a good thing, I think, for anybody. And the press, for all that they want to see it happen, because then then you got 24/7 coverage, and they're exhausted. And Trump tweets at 4:00 in the morning, and they all have to get up and go do their jobs. And then with these sex harassment scandals just cropping up everywhere, Dylan Byers from CNN yesterday made a very poor comment on Twitter talking about all the loss of experience in the media with all the people like Charlie Rose and Glenn Thrush and others losing their jobs. And, of course, women rightly jumped all over him about it. You're like, well, what about the loss of experience of women who have left the media because they've been harassed? He eventually deleted it and sort of backed off from it. But the point is that, that at the time when journalists are already overwhelmed and dealing with all this garbage, to throw in impeachment into the mix would just be overwhelming.
Our great friend Dan Gaynor joining us from the Media Research Center. Kevin Miller here at KIDO Talk Radio. So, Dan, let's talk a little bit about old Charlie. Boy, how the mighty have fallen.
Yeah, Drudge said it better than anything I could. Charlie rose, Charlie fell. 45-year career ended in about 27 hours. That's stunning, but it's also stunning the stuff that women had to tolerate over those years. Walking around naked with people who reported to him. I think that's a reasonable thing to say, that unless you work for Hugh Hefner, that was never okay.
But on the other hand, let's go back to our old friend David Letterman, who had to out himself for sleeping with his employees because he was being blackmailed, and CBS did nothing to him.
Yeah, but and then of course recently he got an award, and the Washington Post is out there celebrating him still and barely mentioning what happened and his sex harassment. There's a lot of for all that I hate the lefty agenda, there is a lot of wake up call that needs to happen in the media, news, and entertainment.
Dan Gaynor joining us here at KIDO Talk Radio with Kevin Miller in the morning. Dan from the Media Research Center. So, Dan, I'm going to ask you to put on your Bob Newhart hat, if you will, and what goes on with these people in power, whether it's Charlie Rose, who's so sanctimonious, Charlie Rose, who's so patronizing to conservatives, that he could do these things and think he would get away with it.
Well, he did. That's what goes through their minds. What happens in Washington, and I'll be honest, I don't want fame because of this. I really don't. I think it's a bad thing. You get so much power that people around you stop telling you you're an idiot, stop telling you you're wrong, stop telling you no. And when you do one thing and you get away with it, nobody says no to you. You do another worse thing. This is the expression "absolute power corrupts absolutely." Charlie Rose. These women were afraid for their careers. Even now, the man's 75, and only 3 of them were willing to come forward and give their names, which means 5 weren't.
Amazing. Let's move on to Alabama.
Well, what do you say?
That's the only thing I have to say Alabama.
Well, I mean, it comes down to this. We don't know what Roy Moore is guilty of. The Washington Post did a stupid thing with its story. Did a couple stupid things, which undermined the credibility of its attack. It waited until the last possible minute so that the GOP couldn't replace Roy Moore, which is a dumb thing, and because then you look like a hit job. And then they included women who were of legal age who later on felt creeped out by it. Now, look, I'm not going to defend dating high school girls. I was a nerd in high school. I didn't date high school girls ever. So I can say I think that's creepy if you're 30 years old and dating high school girls. But it's legal. And so with the left that tears down morality all the time, then the only thing, if you've got no morality, all you've got is legality. So then let's focus in on, there's a woman who was 14 years old, and we don't know if she's telling the truth or not, and that's what it comes down to. And people in Alabama feel like outsiders are trying to fix their election. People on the other side feel like, how can you possibly not vote against a guy who is accused of this? And that's all going to play out. I honestly, apparently the bettors are now saying that they think Roy Moore is going to win. Then if he wins, does the Senate seat him? Does the Senate kick him out? It's anybody's guess. I think if he wins, he doesn't spend very long in the Senate. That's my guess.
Having worked Alabama, I wouldn't be surprised if he does win and wins big.
Well, I mean, this is the difference between him and Franken, and this is certainly a problem for the Democrats and the media as well. Franken, there's a photo of what Franken did. There's proof.
Dan Gaynor joining us, Kevin Miller, KIDO Talk Radio. Well, let's talk a little bit about Al Franken. What do you make of the coverage there?
Well, they covered it, but not the same way they've covered Roy Moore. They don't want to cover Roy Moore in the same way. They want to basically paint all conservatives, Republicans with Roy Moore, and then Al Franken, it's really not that bad. There have been some people who have backed off and said it really wasn't that bad, and but they're also willing to sacrifice Al Franken because this is all aimed at getting Trump.
I don't see them getting Trump, though.
I don't see them getting Trump either, but the more they wound Trump, the less he can get his agenda passed, and the more that they can. I mean, look, it's still 1 year in. It's very possible that Donald Trump runs for re-election.
Indeed. Our great friend Dan Gaynor. Dan, anything else that you'd like to talk about?
What's Thanksgiving? So we should talk about crazy people on Thanksgiving. And every year, there's this game we play on the right where we go running around left-wing websites looking to see who can find the craziest thing. On left-wing websites about Thanksgiving, because they're the days that the left hates are all the holidays. They hate Columbus Day. They hate Veterans Day. They hate Thanksgiving. Oh, my God, there's evil pilgrims. They hate Christmas. I think the only day among the holiday calendar they like is New Year's. So I can tell you I found a piece on Jezebel today where there's an interview with some of their staff discussing Thanksgiving, and one of them says, the pilgrims should have been let to starve. They just hate America so bad, and they're so unhinged about it that in the midst of discussing the value of pumpkin pie, somebody goes off and says, by the way, the pilgrims should have been left to starve.
Amazing.
And people want to read more about this. This will be the lead item in my column tomorrow. I don't often presage what I'm going to do, but I'll do it in this particular holiday case.
Dan Gaynor, happy Thanksgiving. One more time to all your family here on the West Coast. What would you like to say?
Well, happy Thanksgiving, and I really wish they were all here.
Well, you can always come here to, west of the Great River.
I agree. Now we just have to convince my boss that I have the time.
Thank you, Dan. Happy Thanksgiving.
Thanks, man. Take care. Bye.
All right. You're listening to Kevin Miller on KIDO Talk Radio. And I want to thank everybody at the 10 Mile Albertsons yesterday that said, hey, I saw you on TV last week. Give a turkey, don't be a turkey. Gobble till you wobble. And for people listening that are just tuning in outside the Treasure Valley, it's a Treasure Valley thing. You can go to KIDOTalkRadio.com, hit Miller's Mission for the details. And by the way, Rami, thank you for reminding me. Today's KIDO K-Millie cash code word, the last one is gravy, at least for the 605 segment, gravy. So make sure you're listening today for your chance to win that cash code of, $5,000? Could be yours, the last day of the contest. On KIDO Talk Radio, the word today is gravy. So I hope you win. Big local story that broke a little yesterday. The driver of the Porsche, because when I say Porsche, people get mad at me, the Porsche who plowed into a crowd of people at the Boise Spectrum during the Cars and Coffee event in September has been charged with one misdemeanor count of reckless driving. According to the Boise City Attorney's Office, 49-year-old Roy L. Drennan of Eagle on Tuesday, was charged. Kimberly Smith, senior manager of the Attorney's Office Criminal Division, confirmed. By the way, this is from Channel 7. She said the misdemeanor charge was determined to be the most appropriate by the charging attorney after reviewing the case. Smith said the maximum penalty is up to 6 months in jail and a $1,000 fine. You have to wonder at 580-5436, 580-KIDO, what went into this decision, right? We'll talk a little bit more about that in a minute. But in addition to that, I'd love to hear what you have to say. But before we get rolling, let's do the Miller Morning Montage.
De la Creep is Alabama Senate candidate and founder of Take a Daughter from School Day, Roy Moore. The White House has been coy about endorsing Roy, but today the president weighed in.
We've been waiting to find out if Trump could summon at least a shred of decency and disavow a man accused of preying on teenage girls. And today we found out that the old saying is true: sexual predators of a feather flock together.
He says it didn't happen, and, you have to listen to him also.
You have to listen to him and not listen to anyone at the mall, the YMCA, or your conscience, because that little sucker will not stop screaming up here.
One of the most revealing parts came when Trump denounced Moore's Democratic rival, Doug Jones, a lifelong prosecutor, as soft on crime. He's soft on crime. You're siding with an accused child molester over a guy who prosecuted the KKK. You're so soft, you look like a tub of melted Play-Doh.
And thank God we live in Idaho. That's the late-night comedians. I don't know why that they're obsessed with politics. It kind of reminds me of, I'm trying to think, Saturday Night Live, when all else was failing. What did they do? They went to politics. So, again, thank goodness we live in Idaho. The Miller Morning Montage, brought to you by the Kevin Miller Show here at KIDO Talk Radio. So let's get back to this issue. And I can remember when our reporter on the scene, Jim from Star, called me. I was having lunch and told me about this horrific accident. So, it's kind of like being on call. What do? You go home, you get on your laptop, you hear what people have to say, you get their pictures, and you put them up. And so here we have 11 people that have been injured. Thankfully, no fatalities. And, I think people are suing Mr. Drennan. But you know something? And Mr. Drennan is my age, and I'm not going to judge, but that's a pretty good sentence, I would think. A misdemeanor count. Now, maybe you, in fact, have been distracted driving. Maybe you have been negligent. Maybe you've done a lot of things crazy, and accidents do happen, but accidents can be avoided. What scares the heck out of me, and there are a lot of things that scare me, is that I'm negligent and I miss seeing somebody, or I hit somebody, or I cause somebody pain and suffering. And I don't think that we're cognizant of that anymore. And I'll give you an example. You're driving on the roads. Yesterday, I was driving in the Team Subaru Drive for Excellence in Education Forester. I looked next to me. There's somebody on their cell phone. I looked next to them. There's somebody on their cell phone. And I don't know whether or not this is some type of Skynet plot, but we've all become overly dependent on phones. I can remember being, at Miller's Mission, Walmart, hanging out. Everybody's on their bleeping phones. And what does that lead to? Loss of communication, nearsightedness going through the roof, distracted driving. And you know what happens when you're in an accident. Somebody is to blame. Now, we've seen the video of the Porsche cruising out of control and, in my opinion, Mr. Drennan acting irresponsibly. I just wonder why it took so long to come up with these charges when civil suits have already been filed. And if you don't have significant consequences, you're going to have these issues reoccur, like the issues we have with people drinking and driving again and again and again and again and again, and hurting people. Thank God people weren't injured, weren't killed. But tell that to the people that were there having their coffee, watching the cars, and all of a sudden they got a broken leg and they missed work. Do you think the man at work is going to cut them a break? Maybe they had vacation time saved up. But at 580-5436, 580-KIDO, I would hope that the attorneys, and again, I play one by watching Law & Order Criminal Intent, would have looked at a more significant penalty. Or maybe you believe that, hey, it's not that big of a deal. But this situation, unlike an accident, could have been avoided if Mr. Drennan had been driving appropriately. Was it really necessary to spin out? 580-5436, 580-KIDO. Time for traffic and weather together. And let's go to the phones. David in Nampa, you're on with Kevin Miller at KIDO Talk Radio.
Yes, good morning and an early happy Thanksgiving. I'm very sorry. I'm not sorry, I'm happy. I'm a little confused in the morning. I just got up. The Roy Moore story is starting to fall apart. I think that's why the White House is finally starting to talk about it. And by the way, see if you can find Katie Turner's interview with Gloria Allred. That is a masterful, or should I say mistressful, soliloquy in her native language. Her native language is BS. Actually, she speaks a dialect of BS called legalese. Remember her weepy press conference where the lady said that she hadn't seen him in 40 years? And then she found out that, actually, she saw her 20 years ago. She was in a judge in her divorce. Remember that? That's where the phony baloney yearbook signature came, which, by the way, see if you can find a Katie Tur interview, because it's like watching her try to catch a greased pig. Did Roy Moore do this? That is what my client alleges. Translation, that's her story, and she's sticking to it. Okay, this is one of those lawyer things. They can't knowingly lie, or even if they suspect their client is lying, like that thing where she poison pills it, where she says, "Oh, we'll give it at a hearing." Yeah, we'll give evidence at a hearing. Okay, if you thought that yearbook was real, you'd be having a copy of it in one hand and a lab report in the other hand. Okay, I think she understands. She understood pretty quickly that she got hosed.
Sure, great point, David. Thank you for the call. You're listening to Kevin Miller on KIDO Talk Radio.
Good.
And blessed to be a part of your day. Kevin Miller in the morning. Phone number is 580-5436. 580-KIDO. The Uranium One story continues to blow up as well. We'll take a look at that as we move along. Our great friend Sean Hannity covering that, along with other news. And the president talking about Judge Roy Moore. And Ron, thank you for the nice email. A few things we are discussing here. And by the way, since it is the day before Thanksgiving, we do want to invite you to call in and say what you're thankful for. I will say that I'm thankful to be blessed with you each and every day. It's a tremendous responsibility. It is my life's work to be with you as long as you'll have us. And we thank you for listening and supporting this program and the people that support it as well. Thank you very much. I know more than most that you have many choices in the morning. And we're not just talking about radio, but podcasts, CDs, or what have you. So I thank you. And along with our great friend Ray Amaya, we understand the responsibility that we have, unique to the state of Idaho, for keeping the flame alive of local radio on Idaho's first radio station. Now on 107.5 FM in our traditional home at 580 AM. We get that. It's not for and hit the door. We try to reflect the hardworking people that so bless us with their time to listen. So thank you. And if you have something that you're thankful for, 580-5436, 580-KIDO. And as the president said yesterday, I'm thankful for the people in the military. I'm thankful for the people that so graciously fight for our freedom, that face many dangers that many of us will never know because of their service, because of their sacrifice. And a lot of times it doesn't work out for them. A lot of times they go through divorce, or they get injured, or they don't make it home. For this, I am truly thankful to live in the United States of America and to live in Idaho, unlike the other places with the liberal loons running amok trying to silence us. So, a note of gratitude today, and here's the president on KIDO Talk Radio.
Thanksgiving, I want each of you to know that we're forever grateful for the incredible job and for the incredible sacrifices that you and your families make in defense of our nation, our freedom, and our truly great American flag. I'd also like to express my thanks to the wonderful citizens of our country, the people who care for our communities, raise America's children, uphold our laws and our values, and make this amazing land into our national home. As we gather together with our families on Thanksgiving and give thanks for our many blessings, we are reminded of the national family to which we all belong as citizens of this incredible country. This Thursday, as we give thanks for our cherished loved ones, let us also renew our bonds of trust, loyalty, and affection between our fellow citizens as members of a proud national family of Americans.
And there we have it. There we have it, dear true believer. So different from Obama. And by the way, another thing we're thankful for, I'm thankful no more Obama. I'm thankful no Hillary. Just to hear that man speak. Hank, who's thankful for Butch Otter on KIU Talk Radio.
You take the words out. I was really thankful for the fact that Hillary was not elected. Thinking about it, thinking about uranium and the fact that Putin could blackmail her and expose to get even more concessions out of her. All the corruption. Our country would never have survived her administration in the form that we know. And my other blessing is Mr. Dr. Custer out of there at Boise State. What a lying, conniving individual he is, and the total lack of respect for constitutional rights of veterans, conservatives such as the college Republicans, the complete contempt for Christians that this administration of Boise State showed. I count my blessings. And the only caveat I have to that is I'd wish that he'd resigned a year later so that Labrador could appoint his successor and clean out the State Board of Education, because both of them need to be cleaned out.
Indeed.
So I'll leave it at that.
Well, no, I thought you were thankful for Governor Otter.
Oh God, he's awful. I campaigned for him when he first ran for lieutenant governor back in 1986 against Dorothy Ruth Moon, who was the state treasurer type man. They were both running for lieutenant governor. I walked 8 or 9 blocks from him, and now and I'll tell you what, that was the biggest mistake in my life. The fact that he what a piece of work he is. I'm sorry that I did that, and I hope that we can get somebody in there because between Kemp Thorne and between Butch, both those two governors, we've got a swamp here in Boise. If it's the cronyism, the deal making, is sort of like they brought the Washington way to Boise.
Good to talk to you. Happy Thanksgiving.
Well, thank you, and hope you have a happy Thanksgiving.
I hope to too. Take care. See you,
Bye.
Hank. Bye. 580-5436-580-KIDO. By the way, did anybody catch Sean's show yesterday? Donna Brazil on. It was a pretty big get. Max in Garden City with Kevin Miller at KIDO Talk Radio.
Good morning, Kevin. Good morning, everybody.
Good morning. Good morning to the listening audience.
Yeah, that's the listening audience on KIDO AM FM. That was a plug. No, I just wanted to tell you, when you've lived in the land of Chairman Mao for the last 16 years.
Mao.
Zedong. Chairman Mao.
How do they pronounce it? Mao?
Mao Zedong.
Mao.
When you've lived in his
I was a Chiang
years,
Kai-shek guy.
Well, he was better. Anything was better than Mao Zedong. But the fact is, you've got so much to be thankful for here. If you're a native Boisean, if you're living out here and you've never been to China or lived under a communist regime, you just need to go on the faith of the fact that you live in the most blessed land in the world. Thank God. Thank the Lord Jesus Christ for the freedoms I enjoy.
Thank you, Lord, for blessing me. All right, Max, God bless. And if you're just tuning in, KIDO Talk Radio, Kevin Miller with you here. What are you thankful for? course, the latest on Judge Roy Moore, the latest on the person that crashed his Porsche. He's getting, a misdemeanor. We'll give you the details on that at 580-5436, 580-KIDO. But in this multimedia world, before we get back to the calls, here's Laura Ingraham on term limits.
When the government is this large and this unwieldy, mischief is bound to follow, both personal and professional. And soon no one is looking out for the people. They're just looking to cover themselves. And representatives, well, they settle into their positions of power, and year after year, term after term, they tune out their constituents. And pretty soon, they're taking orders from the swamp rather than the people. So if we want to end the corruption and move legislation on Capitol Hill, we need the old-timers to do the decent thing and begin to retire.
You know, here's a little secret. She is so awesome on television. Unfortunately, the informality of radio, in my opinion, she's very successful, doesn't translate. So brilliant on television. And the camera loves her. Laura Ingraham. Again, if everybody just, were like they are on television. Lyle in Homedale with Kay Millie at KIDO Talk Radio. Good morning, sir.
Good morning. How are you today?
Not bad, not bad. Just enjoying talking to folks, or actually listening.
Oh, there's lots to be thankful for. If you put God in your life, it makes it a lot better because you can see things with His hands. And thankful for you on the radio to help Miller's Mission. I really appreciate that. It's a good thing, and I think that's a great thing, actually. And thankful for my family, and I'm thankful for Trump being in there and helping us have a different outlook on our country, which was going down pretty fast. It was actually scary. So I'm thankful for a lot of things.
Well, I'm with you. And the idea, Lyle, of coming back, that's what we need to do with Trump. And it's going to take a long time, but thankfully, I think we're on the right path.
Yeah, a lot of people think, well, he's not doing much, but I know I really feel that he's a really smart man, and he's going to figure out things that probably I couldn't figure out and make things happen. And that's my hope and my prayers that he is the man that we need here in the White House right now.
Well, we always appreciate you swinging into Miller's Mission.
I enjoy it. I got a few things that if your wife wants to look at and stuff, I got a few that she might want to look at. So.
Well, I gave her your card, and she's very excited about that. By the way, if people are looking for tree trimming, give us your number a few times, would you?
965-5155.
One more time, sir.
965-5155.
And the name of your company?
It's Happy Day Tree Trimming.
Happy Day Tree Trimming. Lyle, we appreciate you, and we're going to pump it up, all right?
You bet. You take care.
You too. Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye. Nice young man in Homedale. Security guard Mike on KIDO Talk Radio. Good morning, sir. You're on the air. Go ahead, please.
Hey, Kevin Miller. I just want to wish you a happy Thanksgiving, and everybody in the state of Idaho, a happy Thanksgiving. And I just want to say I'm thankful for you, and I'm thankful for the people of Idaho and their kindness and courteous and consideration for other people here in the state of Idaho and for the United States. I'm grateful for Donald Trump being the president of the United States because I think, like you said, we are on the right path again, and I hope that we can get rid of this liberal disease that we have in the country and cut it out like cancer and kind of get everyone back on the right track. So God bless America.
We need some antibiotics for the libs, that's for sure.
All right. You take care, Kevin Miller, and have a wonderful, happy Thanksgiving.
We're thankful for you, brother, security guard Mike. I'll see you at 7 Cares Day.
All right. I'll see you then, buddy.
Okay. Take care.
Bye-bye.
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 And we go to good old liberal Steve at KIDO Talk Radio. A lot of people were very upset with you, and I got a lot of feedback that you need to get the boot. What's your response to that?
I just want to spank Hank. He hovers in history.
That's the funny thing. We've tried to get you a few times, but every time we have a trial for you, you always win. I remember Tom Munns brought in Black's Law books, and Remember Tom, Frisky Tom? He was mad that we didn't, have this as a proper legal proceeding. Pat from Middleton, God bless him, but he was overmatched against you. I'm trying to think. It was, let's see, Rusty Smurs. And who was it? Was it Pat from Middleton again at Eagle Island where you showed up with Angel and a 357?
Yeah, where is good old Pat? Growing tomatoes in the backyard, hanging upside down.
Who knows what Pat's doing? However, back to you, how would you like to address people that have continued to lobby for your removal of from the program?
I'd like to tell them they're no better than Judge Moore. Mr. Miller, I think Judge Moore.
And you?
I think Judge Moore can't help himself. I think he's just a natural pervert. He wants
come on.
He does. He wants to lay with the hookers. He wants to wed a virgin, and he wants to keep both of them.
There are no hookers in this story.
Oh, they won't come out. They don't want to lose their payroll. As Americans, Miller, we think
so. You just floated a false story attacking someone's integrity.
I said I think. I can think whatever I want, Miller.
Oh, boy.
I'm an American.
What are you, a lawyer now?
Americans, one thing that's cool about Americans, they always think they have control and structure, but they don't know that belief is just a deep illusion, Miller. At any moment, we teeter on chaos.
What do we live in? We live in the Matrix?
Yes, and we teeter on chaos, and today we tweeter on oblivion. Order is just a dream. Doctrines and governments, Americans have to stop blaming outside circumstances for our inside chaos.
I'll have what he's having.
Well, Miller, you have to
hold on. By the way, here, hold on. I want to, and for people that are a little upset with us for having Liberal Steve on, we're going to grant him a pardon today. Mr. President.
We are here today to continue a wonderful American tradition. Today, in the spirit of Thanksgiving, I will grant a presidential pardon to a turkey.
Donnie, baby, you got to stop trying to organize the world. Just get your family organized.
Now, wait a minute. We've granted you a pardon. Mr. President, one more time for Liberal Steve.
We are here today to continue a wonderful American tradition. Today, in the spirit of Thanksgiving, I will grant a presidential pardon to a turkey.
Miller, you outdid yourself today. I got to give you credit on that end, but he's got to stop trying to organize the world, period. Actual freedom is total chaos.
And once again, yes, happy Thanksgiving.
And I'll take on anybody that wants to try and judge me.
You're ready to have another trial here at Miller's courtroom.
Absolutely, and they don't know when they're in the room, being as psychic as I am. I channel their relatives, and they whisper in my ear everything they do.
I think, the prosecutor would probably be Liberal Steve, would be Tea Party Bob. Could you take him down?
Tea Party Bob? Yeah, I'd just turn him sideways and he'd disappear. Stay fired up, Miller.
Happy Thanksgiving.
Have a good Thanksgiving, and keep the calorie count down. You fat people out there.
And gobble till you wobble. Kevin Miller, KIDO Talk Radio.
That the 2016 election wasn't legitimate. Now, that is very confounding to me. Does that mean it shouldn't count? What does it mean to say it's not legitimate? You may not like a lot of things done in it. A lot of things get bad done. I mean, there's dirty campaign fundraising, and people break the rules all the time.
And we'll let it go at that. Unfortunately, our little computer here can't keep up with Chris Matthews last night on Hardball hammering Donna Brazil. By the way, she was on with Sean Hannity on our airwaves, KIDO Talk Radio, 580. And Kevin Miller in the morning, want to thank you for making a difference for so many people with the Boise Rescue Mission. They'll have their Thanksgiving pre-banquet today at the Cathedral of the Rockies. We'll be there. Shooting some video, taking photos. That'll be available at KIDOTalkRadio.com. And once again, your turkeys, your non-perishable food, your stuffing, your thoughts, your prayers are feeding Treasure Valley families this holiday season. And had a great event in Nampa. Unfortunately, we couldn't make it because we were still at the Walmart. But just to let you know, an update on that, just amazing work. Great job. Coming up next, it's our friends, Fox News. Remember, when you hear Fox News on the radio, you're listening to KIDO Talk Radio, Idaho's first radio station, and now Idaho's FM talk station. Kevin Miller, good morning.